He's the one that suggested I come here. He said, if they don't have one to grow, they need to start moving.
How you doing, Bobby? All good.
Well, the more people you have here, the quicker we get that water stuff paid off and soon
Yep.
get the bills down.
All right, let's call the Board of Public Works for the City of Jonesboro to order. Roll call, please.
John,
Here.
Dave,
Here.
and Bob.
Here.
Gentlemen, we need to review the minutes for June 10th and approval, please.
Make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Second that motion.
Okay, we got a motion and a second roll call.
John,
Aye.
Dave,
Aye.
and Bob.
Aye. We have bids for our Ford Excursion. And I'm gonna open them up. And we have one for $1,200. Need a letter to print it out. We have one for $1,278.18. Okay, and the last one is $300. So saying that, the top bid is $1,278.18.
Who is that?
Emergency Remarketing out of Willoughby, Ohio.
I just see all of them on that line.
All right. Moving along, we'll go to utilities, request for adjustments. I think it's just one in front of you, is that correct? We have an adjustment for 325 East River Street. I'm not sure exactly what that means, problems with health insurance card. They need adjustment.
Okay, so they have it's a credit card, but it's through their health insurance company, and they kept trying to pay their bill, but it was blocking it and declining it.
Okay.
Our systems will not accept that card.
So he's gonna pay a different way next time?
Yeah.
Okay, for its adjustment for $12.49.
I make a motion to approve the utility adjustment for 325 River Street in an amount of $12.49.
I'll second that motion.
Motion and second, roll call, please.
John,
Aye.
Dave,
Aye.
and Bob.
Aye. Request for payment plan? Good, thank you. Utility customers, any requests, complaints, or questions? If you have any, please come to the microphone, state your name and your address, and we'll address your concerns or questions. Any utility questions? Okay. Moving along. Public Works projects, Mr. Bradley Klein.
Good evening. Just a quick update on the water treatment plant. Contractors are still progressing nicely on the interior of the building. Probably have about 75% of the piping plumbed in the building, so again, we're just moving forward with that. I did get a call, contractor is looking to possibly start working on the parking lot paving next week. They've got the roller out there now, so we'll see how that goes. The CCMG 2024-1, I know there's been a lot of discussion about the sidewalks and access across those drives. I did have a call into E&D with no response yet on that, but I did promise the mayor that we would get that alleyway open and accessible by Friday, so that's on my target. The CCMG 2025-1, we did submit for funds today, so the deadline was Friday, so we will get the funds. Looks like everything's submitted, so we will get the funds hopefully into the clerk's bank account soon, so that's moving along. The sanitary sewer extension project, the grant, that was submitted last Friday. We did have a minimal amount of support letters. I know the state did send us a support letter, as well as we did have pictures of the sewage that was run along Muncie Pike. So we are starting out with a 275 point score. We need an additional 125 to give us the 450 to get the grant. So, I mean, on average, I think we're starting off at a good start, but we'll see how that goes.
I'm just glad the state gave us an endorsement.
They did.
Yeah, that's great.
They did. And then I'll save the best for last, the J.C. Knight demolition. The contractor has been, we have signed contracts, he is on site. There was some unforeseens that we did see on the electrical side of things. That's the bad side of it. The good side is there is some additional monies in the grant. As you know, the bids came in low. There was a reason why he was low, because there's obviously some things in there that we didn't have on the plans. What we're doing now is we're seeking some additional quotes. As long as that meets the 20%, doesn't exceed the 20% bid, everything should be covered under the grant. So our fingers are crossed. There shouldn't be any more money that the city should incur on this, but we're looking at two to three different contractors to give us some quotes on that. I mean, I'll tell you, the electrical in that building is more than complicated, just the way things have been done over the last 100 years in there. So it wasn't any surprise to us. We kind of knew that the electrical was a question, and then when we got those low bids, so we're working through that, and I'll give you guys an update as we know more. But that's, I know the contractor is antsy to get in there, and I know he's been on my heels to get the building down, because we've got a certain window that we have to meet before the school starts again. So that's the challenge there. So with that, I'd answer any questions that you guys have.
I got one question. East Fifth Street, when we added that on in there, it includes sidewalks, is that
It
correct?
does.
So we may have to visit that tree over there. We may have to take that tree down
Okay.
on the north side,
Okay.
because I don't want to put the
Yeah, that-
sidewalks in and then
Right.
go around that. So we make sure I remember that, would you? The tree over here, Fifth Street.
Fifth and Water?
Yeah, no, Fifth and, right, East Fifth.
It's about mid-block. I think it's
Yeah,
right on the alley.
On Fifth?
Yeah,
Okay, I know what you're talking about.
because I don't want to put new sidewalk in and then have that thing. Sorry, George. We may have to take that tree down.
Tell me what day, so I'll change myself.
Is that, Mayor, is that something you would want the contractor to do, or you?
I
want-
think we could probably get that accomplished on
Okay.
our own. I think we can do that. I just want to get it out there before we start.
I agree.
Because I really want that area to look really good.
Okay.
Because you said side to side all the way across, right?
That's right.
All right,
Anybody else?
Brad, I got a question.
Okay.
Now, I've been absent a few meetings. That work on Water Street sure seems slow.
It is. The contractor is actually demobilized and left. We had a storm line that we had to get across Second Street, which I don't want to say hindered, but delayed the project.
I understand that, they left the damn Grand Canyon in the middle of the road on a weekend. I don't know who it was that finally filled it. but-
We did.
Yeah, that
Was
was,
us?
we outsourced that.
All right, so, who's doing that job for us? Is that E&B paving?
The overall contractor is E&B.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, their service sucks. Now, that project has been on the list for a long time. It's supposed to have been done last year.
Correct.
And it got pushed on to this year, and we were assured that that was gonna be the #1 project for this year. And I still drive by orange cones down there. So, I'm thinking the city needs to stand up and do something about that. Tell E&B to get off your ass and fix this, or get out of town. Don't give them any more business. I think they've done us wrong, and I think the city should take a hard line on that.
So our stance on that is there's liquidated damages at the end of the project that we can go after, so.
Are we gonna go after them?
We should, yes.
Well, I'm looking at the lawyer. Are we gonna go after them?
Heck, yes, we are.
It's $100 a day, George, and they've been.
And that
they're
starts
past their
when?
date. It was April the 7th,
So,
this council member will bring it up. They're almost 3 months behind.
Have they given you any excuse? Not that any excuse
I'll
is
be every
good.
excuse.
they haven't, but we're scheduling a construction meeting to figure out what the next step is.
And that, we won't be the only city doing that with them, I don't think. If you be a gas city, it's basically the same thing, a lot of stuff's been delayed and everything. The new contract we just signed today started May 13th for the 2025. I think it says May 13th. And we will be vigilant about that again, but me and Brad and the lawyer will talk about the damages, if there are any at the end, and we will pursue it. $100 a day is nothing to them, but it is to us, and we'd like to get it completed.
Well, I don't
Sure,
mind
no
keeping
problem.
business within the local area, and I understand E&B Paving is a gas city company. So I would count that as local. They've done us wrong.
Anybody else?
Is that the same guys up there on what, that nice street, almost the top of the hill? The gravel, there's a hole in, and they got gravel in
No,
it?
that's on us. We're working on getting those all done.
Okay,
And once again, it's probably, that's gonna be a little delayed because of them on that, but that's us.
okay.
That's what we dug up, that's our water leaks.
I just wondered.
And we have a list of all over town, we're gonna be doing those
Yeah,
also.
unfortunately, I don't know if it's fortunate or not, E&B will be paving those spots as well.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of people do that kind of business.
Yeah.
We're pretty much limited on who we can get, but they should abide by the contract, and our lawyer said we're gonna look into it, so we will. Okay? Anything else? Thank you, Brad.
Thank you, Brad.
All right, let's go to reports. The street superintendent, utility superintendent.
All of our equipment is in good shape that's here. As you know, the vac truck and the bucket truck are still down. Vac truck's in Fort Wayne, we're still waiting to hear from them. The bucket truck, I was told today, the guy's supposed to be here either Thursday or Friday to finish that. We did have to replace some bearings on the old Grasshopper, not the new one on the front wheel bearings on the small wheels. They went out, I think it was last week when I was off. But they're all up and running, they're back, everything's running as far as the lawn mowers. Only had 2 or 3 permits this round. No roads are closed at this point that I know of. We had 34 locates since the last meeting, 35 work orders. We're mowing approximately 25 empty lots as part of our mowing season where people's not taking care of them themselves. We had approximately 6 trees go down during the storm. I think that was last Wednesday, I think it was. Between the firefighters and the city workers, we was able to clear all the roads and have the roads open within a couple hours. We had a small hiccup at the water plant, but we've got everything up and running now. It had to do with the communication system between the tower and the plant. It wasn't telling it to keep filling up.
I have a question about that. Did they come and get on the tower? Did they have to?
I don't know if they've got on the tower yet, but they're coming back on July 3rd is what Biggie told me to test everything.
Then do you wanna talk about this?
What's that?
That's an estimated cost
For the company?
for J and K.
Okay, yeah, I didn't know nothing about it, so Vicky must have got this. I'll just give, I guess, the total of what they're estimating, because I don't know, I was just told today they was coming back on the 3rd and was gonna test all the antennas, the radios, and the receivers, and then they'd be able to give us a price, so I didn't even know this was here. But I guess J&K, which also runs all of our emergency equipment, our emergency radios, they gave a total price of $13,762.33. Now, I'm not sure what all that is, because I was told they didn't even know what all was bad yet.
I think that's
So,
just a rough
if everything-
estimate, if they had to
okay.
replace everything.
My question is, with the new water plant going, with that equipment we're putting out there, I'm not the smart of the stuff, but if we fix this here, is it gonna work with
This
the
will
new?
all switch over, is what
So-
I've been told by Brad and everything.
So,
With the new plant, this will switch right over to it.
so that's just for the water tower, that has nothing to do with the plant.
Well, it's the communication.
You know, what I'm
between
saying
the
is, the equipment down there is already paid for through our grant, right?
That I don't know.
Okay, so this is just an addition to,
Well, I need to look at that and see if there's,
you see where I'm getting at this?
if there's
If
something.
we're gonna put something on the tower now, then we're gonna have a different, communication down there.
I think the way J&K looked, or what Biggie was telling me, was they were supposed to match up. Whatever we put on the tower is gonna match what's going out there.
Okay, is that what you,
Yeah.
okay.
But the mayor's right, we wanna make sure that we're not double paying for the plant repairs that are already included in the grant funding, so that we're not duplicating.
It looks like the majority of this, I mean, just initially looking at it, a lot of it's for tower equipment.
Yeah. And that's the way I took it, it was all gonna be at the tower, but it will communicate with what's going at the plant.
So that's just an estimate, we're not doing anything tonight?
That's just an estimate, yeah. So
But I
we'll
was
know
told
more
we'll be
once
back
they
July
get up there.
3rd, and they're gonna actually climb the tower, check the radio, check the antenna,
So every-
coax.
So everything has to be done by August 1st, because that's when the plant goes live, okay.
So we can add that into the project, right, Greg?
Sure, buddy,
Of course,
sure we can.
of course they will. J&K's who our current communication system is with,
Yes,
for tower to plant.
as far as I know, that's what Biggie told me.
We need to go back and look and see when the last time was we redid this, because this is not the first time we've had to redo this system. We had this problem probably 5 to 7 years ago, and I thought we redid it at that point in time, because the tower was not filling as a result of the plant not, or vice versa, one telling it's not full. So we just need to look at their last agreement.
So I think what you're talking about is the computer system, the software.
Was it the computer
Yeah.
system?
And that's
Okay.
through Tim Hill, what's the company? Because
It's-
they've been working
they
with
do all the
Tim
water
and
plant
they're all
stuff.
the
Okay, I know who you're
IT guy.
talking about.
And he suggested J&K, so I think
Okay.
those are separate.
So,
But I'll look.
yeah, so this quote, I'm just looking at the top, says, this quote represents a worst-case scenario for replacing all antenna system components at both ends of the link. So it looks like there may be some overlap
Yeah.
Okay.
on the plant side, so we just,
Okay,
I'll go through and look.
okay, cool.
So we should know in our first meeting in July, okay.
And then the only other stuff I had after that was, we started leveling all the, what he was just talking about, the water leak areas, but what we're doing mostly now is the grassy areas where we had to tear up the grass, we're going back leveling it, seeding it. The last thing I wanna report, and I know Brittany and the mayor knows about it, we do have all the cameras up, but one working at the park, they're working on it. We did have a little bit of vandalism this past Thursday evening, wasn't nothing drastic. And I guess they wasn't thinking when they done it, so they actually broke into the electric box on the back of the bathrooms and killed all the breakers, thinking it knocked all the cameras out. Well, it did, but it didn't knock it out till after we caught them doing it. So we have pictures of them. Me and Jim's gonna look closer at the fire station where it actually records it. We can see it on a big screen. He tried to look at it on his phone, but when we zoom in, it pixels it too much. So we're gonna look at that tomorrow at the fire station and see. We've had people on top of the roof we caught. Brittany actually caught these kids red-handed. She's got them off the roof, and so nothing drastic since the cameras are up. But hopefully, maybe if we can find these couple kids that we seen messing with the electric box, it is locked up with a padlock now. They went back the very next day, the same two kids, and tried to pry the door open underneath the lock. And again, we caught them, so we'll get that to Colton as soon as we can see if we got a good picture and go from there. So that's all I have is that, unless you guys have anything.
So may I ask, are we gonna seek civil damages?
If there is any, yes. Yes, I think we should. It's been a long time, it's been wasted time before we talk about it, but I think we should. And sitting beside the lawyer, I think he would be more than willing to take something like that on.
A lot of it was petty stuff this
Yeah.
time. I know you guys have known we've had some worse. We had a handle broke on the stool this time. A trash can took in and dumped in the girls' bathroom. Nothing big, but
But those little things add up.
that out, yep.
Archie, oh, yes.
Does the town get, paid for mowing these properties?
It goes on liens toward that property.
Oh,
We'll lien the property, sometimes we get it in the tax draw, sometimes we don't.
Rick, Fire Chief?
Fire?
Yes.
We've had 21 calls since the last meeting. 7 of those were fire, 14 of them was medical. All of our equipment's in good shape as of now. Again, the fire department assisted on the cleanup during the trees and the wires that were down. As of tonight, we filled all the poles that we've had people turn in paperwork for. Other than that, that's really all I have for the fire department.
Thanks for all
Kudos
you
to the
do.
firehouse, because that was nasty that night. And I saw Mark Ivory out there, so kudos to the fire boys.
Yeah.
That was nasty.
Thank you, Chief.
Yep.
Okay. Police Chief, sir?
Okay, our vehicles and equipment are all up and running. We had 110 calls generated since the last meeting. 10 of those were assisting agencies and 1 arrest. And I just want to personally, along with all the officers, thank the city of Jonesboro for purchasing the new body cameras. They are all up and running. They're a great tool to have for transparency and also officer accountability and the public. So, I know Jim, our IT, spent a lot of time getting that set up with Motorola. And then I'll still be doing some training classes on that, trying to figure out more about the software. But, that's about really all I have.
Thank you for all you do, sir. Any questions for the chief? Okay, let's move on. Let's go to court treasurer.
So you do, yeah, we, we have a
Draws for the
part-time
water.
officer, so he's not here 5 days a week.
I'll go ahead and pass the budget sheet now when I talk about this. So this is draw
County
26,
helping us. We have county helping
and
us
this
as
is
well.
for the amount of $324,900. This is to be paid to Shinra.
Yeah. Read it to me, yes.
I'll make a motion that we provide the disbursement for Shen Brothers in the amount of $324,900.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and second. Roll call.
John,
Aye.
Dave,
Aye.
and Bob.
Aye.
The next one is draw 27, and that is for $19,775 to be paid to municipal civil.
Brad, anything different with municipal civil? Municipal civil, is there anything that needs to be verified on that before we pay out the invoices, or do you feel comfortable?
Yeah, that's good, code enforcement stuff. Yeah, thanks.
Make a motion that we do the disbursement for municipal civil in the amount of $19,775.
I'll second that.
You got a motion second, roll call please.
John, Dave,
Aye.
and Bob.
Aye. I've only got a couple of things. I'd like to thank anybody that showed up to Hamlet in the park and in Shakespeare Park. It was really cool. We didn't have great attendance because of the heat, but it was really, really interesting. For somebody like me, I needed a little culture and I went down there, so it was pretty neat. They do a great job. I'm gonna write them a letter and thank them because those kids worked hard for that and it was really good. I wanted to say one more thing about the fire department. I was out there with them cleaning trees up. They did a great job. Mark Ivory and all those guys, and of course the chief, and James Henderson. He does a great job with getting those trees out of the road and everything. So hopefully we won't have that again. And that's about it. And the attorney.
I don't know if it's a Board of Works issue, as I think it is. These 6 properties that Quentin addressed with me a few weeks ago, that we were gonna transfer to others. We were looking at those, and it doesn't look like those transfers have been made yet. Is that your understanding? I was a little unclear on whether, I know we need resolutions, but I didn't know that they had even been transferred.
Yeah, I think we were under the impression that the county was releasing them and that they were coming, are they coming our direction? Is that your understanding? And
Yes.
But there hadn't been a resolution for us to bring them into our house, basically.
Well, the record shows that the city owns them now.
It does, okay.
Okay.
But we want them transferred into redevelopment name.
Well, yeah, I think
Yes.
there's a number of properties that we've transferred to redevelopment commission. I don't think we've transferred to any private holders yet. We're hoping to do that at the next redevelopment.
Yes, that's, I
Okay,
misspoke, to the
Yeah.
redevelopment.
But yeah, the redevelopment commission is the current owner of, I think, 6 properties. And if you look on the GIS, they're listed separately as the redevelopment commission as the owner.
Well, the records we were looking at showed the city as the owner.
Which property were you looking at and what GIS is?
212 South Water, 404 West Third, 600 block of South Main, 613 South Water, 901 South Main.
That's,
Yeah, when I last looked at Elevate, redevelopment commission was listed as the owner as some of them, but if we need to, we can find the,
I've got the
The transfer
recorded
documents.
deeds, yeah, so
You
I'll
do?
look, I'll look in, yep.
yeah.
Okay.
So maybe if you could email me and Brittany, and then we can follow up on that just to make sure everything's up and up. Thank you.
because we got an offer on 2 of the properties. Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go along to the expenditures, and let's go to the water fund for the city of Jonesboro, in the amount of $142,566.84 for approval.
I've read the claims for the water fund. I'll make a motion that we accept them in the amount of $142,566.84.
I'll second that motion.
Got a motion second, roll call please.
John,
Aye.
Dave,
Aye.
and Bob.
Aye. Wastewater fund, in the amount of $15,124.21.
I'll make a motion to approve the wastewater fund in the amount of $15,124.21.
Second that motion.
Got a motion and second, roll call please.
John,
Aye.
Dave,
Aye.
and Bob.
Aye. Any questions from the public, general questions? If you have any, please state your name, your address, come to the mic.
Hi, I'm William Francis. I own 300 East Ninth Street here in Jonesboro, and a couple other properties as well. And I've sort of been a developer for the last 45 years, and I'm trying to actually do some development here in town, but as I look at the Elevate, there's nowhere to develop. There's no general business. I want to do some multifamily dwellings, and I look and there's nothing here. You know, I look at the wastewater treatment plant that you're building. It's a nice new place, and you got Muncie Pipe going down towards Muncie there, and then you got a cornfield, which I love corn, but it's not making the city any money.
No.
Have you thought about annexing somewhere?
Yes.
We thought about it.
We I had a meeting the other night.
Oh, did you?
Yes, and I told, and all the owners out west is, I'm gonna pursue my last 2 years of my term, because they'll probably vote me off then. But no, that's a joke, it's a joke, I shouldn't do that, I'm sorry. We have to move somewhere, because we got 800 customers right now, or not that many, paying the bills for everybody.
And you can't go that way.
You can't go that way.
You gotta go that way or that way.
Yeah,
That's
we
true.
are.
And so that's sort of what I'm
Well,
trying
are
to
you
get.
interested in building downtown?
You have some lots that I could put multifamily dwellings on, I sure could. I mean,
we're-
because I've gotta have 8,000 square foot lot size to
Yeah.
build multifamily.
Well, we might be able to accommodate that with Christ Street. We're trying to buy some of the property over here and tear them down,
Sure. I mean, now, the school, that's,
right over here.
okay, yeah, I mean, Main Street, it'd be great. That'd be fine with me. I don't know what the.
There's some other
would be.
land I've seen something up there on First Avenue that the Hexion owns, and it's a huge lot right there. I'm trying to approach them and see if they want to sell it to the city, and then
Well, I got a purchase agreement today on 8 lots here in Jonesboro. And they're zone R1. I didn't buy it from you. I bought from an individual. And I'm sort of looking at it like, gosh, it's like a block from the wastewater treatment, it's R1, which is, you can build one single house on it, 2 houses on it maybe, but if you put, you know, 4.
So are you asking us to change our residential zoning then?
Well, if I could build multifamily on a residential one, I would certainly build 4 units on it, and we'd have 16 more families, or 16 more people, you know, if that could be the case, but.
Yeah, okay. Well, have you come up to see me?
I did come in last week.
No. Is that the one you talked?
Yeah, she bad mouthed me probably. I've known her since she was this tall, so.
She shut the door and told me to stay in
Exactly,
there.
yeah, just.
Well, if you're asking that's something we could investigate if you're, I mean, we'll do
The
anything
money's
about
setting in, it's setting, so it's
Okay.
not making any money, we're setting, so, you
Well,
know.
Come up and see us, and I got some people that'll look into this, and we'll proceed and try if we can help you out there, because if you can do that, you help Jonesboro more.
Sure.
We need you more than you need us.
Well, you know, the more people you have here using the water and breaking things up, it's only a matter of time before you have to quit raising
Well,
the
Miss-
prices every year.
Well, come up and,
Right,
I'm here
we'll talk,
tomorrow.
we'll talk.
All
we'll
right.
talk. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time.
Very nice. I did not know that. Very nice. Anybody else?
And those 25 lots that you do have that are you mowing and you get them back, call me.
Okay.
Tricia?
Well, okay. That's quite interesting. Very, very much. I'm gonna save this tape up there.
I might even have a business.
Anyway, no more questions from any questions from the board or to the board? If not, a motion to adjourn is in order.
So moved.
We'll reconvene here with the council in 1 minute. So I go to the restroom, as always. No, I'm doing it right now.
You made your case.
Did I do that right?
Yeah, you made your case.
Hey, friend.
I talked to him today, he said, you didn't come in tonight. I said, okay.
From whatever they are doing.
Well, I'll be your cellmate.
Mr. Gossler?
They want to rearrange something or something.
Tommy, how are you?